Imagine for a moment that life itself is a stage, and every single person walks upon it, some timid, some uncertain, some drifting without direction. Then there are those who step forward with a quiet yet unshakable certainty, as if they were born for this very moment. You've seen them before. Their energy feels different. They don't speak louder than others, but their presence commands the room. Why? Because deep within them is a belief. They are chosen, not chosen by chance, not chosen by luck, but chosen by purpose. And here lies the secret. Faith is their crown. They wear it daily, even when no one else can see it, even when storms rage against them, even when circumstances whisper that they are ordinary. Their crown is invisible, yet it gives them posture, strength, and direction. Faith is not a fragile thing that bends under pressure. True faith is a declaration, a royal seal that whispers, "You have been marked for something greater." When you carry this faith, you no longer wake up hoping something good will happen. You rise knowing something great must happen, because destiny itself has already signed your name. Think about it. History remembers not the doubters, not the fearful, but the ones who dared to believe that they were chosen for a higher path. This belief alone becomes the engine that drives them through storms that would destroy others. Doubt is the language of the unchosen. When you entertain it, you shrink your possibilities and lower your crown. Doubt says, "Who am I to attempt this? Who am I to dream this big?" But faith answers, "Who am I not to? If I am alive, if I have breath, if a vision burns in my heart, then it is because I was entrusted with it." Faith does not wait for permission. It does not wait for applause. It simply moves forward as if the future is already guaranteed. And often, it is this very movement, this bold act of walking with faith, that bends reality to your favor. You cannot act ordinary when you are chosen. Ordinary behavior is for the masses, for those who live and die without realizing they carried a crown the whole time. The chosen rise differently. They carry themselves differently. They know that every trial is a test, not a verdict. Every delay is a setup, not a denial. Every rejection is a redirection toward something bigger. Faith keeps them steady in these moments because they do not measure their worth by today's difficulties. They measure it by tomorrow's promise. Think about the moments when you nearly gave up. What kept you standing? What whispered in the silence, "Keep going, there is more for you"? That whisper was not weakness, it was the crown reminding you who you are. Faith was lifting your chin, telling you to stop bowing to fear. The truth is, many people never step into their chosen destiny because they give more attention to doubt than to faith. They let the noise of the world drown out the crown that was already on their head. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not talent, it is not luck, it is not privilege, it is faith. Faith that refuses to surrender when the battle looks lost. Faith that believes when no evidence exists. Faith that dares to act chosen even when the world calls you unqualified. Wear this faith daily. Treat it as your crown, because once you see yourself as chosen, the world has no choice but to eventually see it too. And when faith becomes your crown, certainty becomes your walk. This is the second truth. Act with certainty. For doubt is the language of the unchosen. Nothing weakens a vision faster than hesitation. The chosen do not tiptoe into opportunities. They step in with assurance, as though they already belong there. That's what sets them apart. While others wait for signs, for guarantees, for the perfect moment, the chosen create the moment. Their certainty is magnetic. It draws people, resources, and possibilities toward them. Certainty is not arrogance. When you act with certainty, the world responds differently to you. People trust those who trust themselves. Leaders follow those who lead themselves first. Opportunities open to those who open their hearts without fear of failure. Even mistakes bend in favor of the certain, because certainty creates resilience. Doubtful people collapse when they fall. The chosen rise, dust themselves off, and move again, because their certainty was never tied to being perfect, but to being faithful. Consider this. Every breakthrough in history came from someone who dared to act with certainty before evidence appeared. The explorers who sailed when maps were incomplete, the inventors who built when failure seemed inevitable, the dreamers who stood when the world mocked them. They all acted chosen. They didn't wait for approval. They didn't wait for permission. They acted as if destiny had personally invited them, and so doors opened where walls once stood. You too must step into that certainty. Stop waiting for every piece of the puzzle to align. Stop asking for proof before you move. Proof comes after movement, not before. Certainty is choosing to act as though your crown is real, even when no one else can see it. It is moving forward when the world expects you to freeze. It is saying to yourself daily, I was chosen for this, and then making choices that align with that belief. There will always be voices that try to shrink you, voices that say you are too small, too inexperienced, too late. But certainty silences them, not with argument, but with action. You don't need to convince anyone you're chosen. You simply need to live like it, walk like it, act like it. Your certainty will become undeniable proof. So wear your faith like a crown and walk with certainty as your language. Together they make you unstoppable. Together they distinguish you from the ordinary. Together the fee. Remind the world that you are not here by accident. You are here because you are chosen. And when you act as if you are chosen, nothing, no obstacle, no fear, no doubt, can deny the destiny already written for you. There comes a moment in every person's journey when the world has not yet recognized them, when their name is not in lights, when their efforts are unseen and their voice unheard. Most shrink back in these seasons, waiting for recognition, waiting for approval, waiting for someone else to say, you are ready. But the chosen do not wait. They carry themselves as leaders long before the world acknowledges them. Leadership is not about titles, awards, or applause. It is about identity. It is about deciding who you are and embodying that truth in every step you take. Think about it. The great figures who reshaped history didn't wait until others believed in them to act. They believed first. They led themselves before they ever led nations, movements, or companies. That is the difference. The chosen know that leadership begins within. Before others follow you, you must walk in a way that makes you worth following. Before others trust your voice, you must learn to trust your own. To act chosen means to lead now, in silence, in obscurity, and preparation. It means building the discipline, the vision, and the integrity of a leader while no one else is watching. Carrying yourself as a leader is about presence. It's the way you hold yourself, the way you handle challenges, the way you speak to others with confidence and respect. Even in small rooms, the chosen act as though they are shaping futures. They know that every interaction is practice for greater stages. The unchosen think they must wait for power to become powerful. The chosen know power is first a mindset, then an action, and only later does the world place a crown on their head. The greatest leaders didn't ask, what if I fail? They asked, what if I never try? And they carried themselves with dignity, as though failure was only part of the journey, not the end of it. You cannot wait for the world to label you a leader. You must claim it in the way you live. Carry yourself as one long before recognition arrives. This is how destiny separates the chosen from the rest. The world will catch up to your reality eventually, but first, you must believe it enough to live it. And when you begin carrying yourself as a leader, something else becomes clear. Chosen souls do not allow obstacles to chain them down. They turn every difficulty into a stepping stone, never an excuse. This is the fourth truth. Your trials are not walls meant to stop you. They are ladders meant to lift you. The difference lies in how you see them. Most people see obstacles as reasons to stop. They blame their circumstances, their background, their lack of support. They point to the mountain and say, it is too high. But the chosen look at the same mountain and say, this is my training ground. The obstacle that makes the average person quit is the very obstacle that sharpens the chosen into greatness. Understand this. Every barrier carries a hidden gift. Within the difficulty lies the lesson, the growth, the strength you could not develop without it. Without the weight of resistance, there can be no power. The chosen recognize this. They do not resent the obstacles. They respect them, knowing that each challenge is shaping them for the destiny they were marked for. Excuses are the language of the ordinary, but stepping stones are the vision of the chosen. Where the ordinary see problems, the chosen see preparation. A closed door becomes a push toward a new direction. A failure becomes knowledge earned. A rejection becomes redirection. Every single obstacle is transformed into part of the path forward. Think of a river. When a rock blocks its flow, it does not stop. It does not complain. It bends, it carves, it pushes, it adapts, and eventually the rock becomes part of the river's story. So it is with the chosen. Life will place obstacles in your path, but when you act as though you are chosen, you do not let them define you. You let them refine you. The truth is, people who constantly make excuses reveal that they never truly saw themselves as chosen. Because if you know you are chosen, you cannot afford excuses. Excuses weaken your crown. They lower your standard. They convince you to accept less than what was already written for you. But stepping stones, they lift you higher. They give you the strength, wisdom, and resilience required for the great destiny ahead. Every obstacle you face today is an invitation to prove your identity. Will you use it as an excuse to stop, or will you transform it into a stepping stone that propels you forward? The chosen do not wait for easy roads. They master hard roads. They turn pain into power, fear into fuel, and setbacks into setups. They understand that being chosen does not mean being spared from trials. It means being equipped to conquer them. So carry yourself as a leader even when no one notices. Lead with your actions, your discipline, and your vision, not your titles. And when obstacles rise against you, see them not as curses but as gifts. Turn them into stepping stones. Stack them beneath your feet until they lift you high enough to touch the destiny already waiting for you. This is how the chosen move, with leadership in their spirit and resilience in their stride. There is a fire that burns quietly inside of you, one that others may never fully understand, one that you yourself may sometimes question. It arrives in the form of a vision, a dream that feels too vast, too audacious, too heavy for the world around you to support. And yet it persists. It does not leave you. It follows you into your sleep, whispers in your silence, and demands your attention. Here lies the truth. Your vision is not random. It is not a passing thought or a coincidence. It is evidence that you were chosen. Many wander through life without a clear dream. They carry a vision that seems to set them apart, sometimes even isolate them. They see possibilities others overlook. They feel a burden to create, to build, to achieve something larger than themselves. And though they may doubt themselves at times, they must never forget. A vision is proof of selection. It is the universe's way of placing a seal on you, of saying, you are entrusted with this because you are capable of carrying it. Think about the greatest leaders, innovators, and dreamers in history. Every single one of them began with a vision that others could not see. They were called crazy, unrealistic, foolish. But the chosen do not live according to the small vision of others. They live according to the burning vision within themselves. The fact that this vision burns inside you means you have already been marked. It is not a mistake that you see what others cannot. It is not an accident that this dream refuses to die inside you. To act as chosen means to respect the vision, to guard it fiercely, and to act upon it with faith. Many people sabotage their destiny by dismissing their own vision. They say, it's too big. I could never achieve this. But chosen ones know that the very size of the dream is the proof of its divine origin. It is not supposed to be small. It is not supposed to fit inside your comfort zone. A chosen vision stretches you, breaks you, and rebuilds you into someone worthy of carrying it. Your vision is your evidence. Do not treat it as a burden. Treat it as a crown. Every idea, every dream, every glimpse of possibility is a message. You have been selected to make this real. Do not waste it. Do not shrink it. Nurture it. Act on it and let it guide your steps. Because to betray your vision is to betray the fact that you are chosen. And when you begin to honor that vision, another truth reveals itself. Walking with courage is the only solace. I way forward. Fear will always try to stalk you, whispering reasons why you should not move, why you should wait, why you should give up. But courage is the mark of the chosen. Fear cannot coexist with a chosen mind. Do not misunderstand. Being chosen does not mean you will never feel fear. It means that fear does not control you. It means you move forward in spite of it, through it, beyond it. Fear will scream at you, but courage will whisper louder, "Go anyway." And that whisper is what defines destiny. The world is filled with those who allowed fear to imprison them. They had visions, they had dreams, but they froze. They lived small because fear convinced them that safety was better than greatness. But chosen ones know that safety is an illusion. Life itself is uncertain. To hide from risk is to hide from purpose. The chosen walk into the unknown, not because they are fearless, but because they understand that their vision demands it. Courage is obedience to the vision, even when fear tries to paralyze. Courage does not always roar. Sometimes it is as simple as waking up again after a defeat, as steady as taking one more step when your legs feel heavy, as quiet as saying, "I will not quit." That is what makes the chosen unstoppable. Fear bends them but never breaks them. Fear shouts, but their vision speaks louder. When you act with courage, you awaken power that has always been within you. Doors open not because fear disappears, but because courage pushes them. People are inspired not by your perfection, but by your bravery. They see someone who could have quit, could have hidden, could have lived small. But instead, you walked into the storm as if you were chosen to conquer it. And in truth, you were. Think of the many moments in your life when fear tried to silence you. It told you to stay quiet when you had something to say. It told you to stay still when you were called to move. It told you to stay small when your vision demanded expansion. But you are here now, still breathing, still holding that dream. That alone proves that fear never won.